Hello students, I am Rajesh. Today we are going to start class 12th physics, and we are not going to start from chapter number 1. We are going to start from chapter number 9, and the chapter is ray optics. Why I am doing so? The chapter number 8, chapter number 9 and 10, these three chapters consist of 17 to 18 marks in the board examination. In these three chapters, chapter number 9 is the most lengthy chapter, and that's why we are going to start from chapter number 9. Moreover, chapter number 9 and chapter number 10, these two chapters involves 14 to 15 marks in the board examination, and that's why we have decided to start from chapter number 9. In chapter number 9, in this particular lecture, what we are going to cover. The lecture flow will be like: the first thing we are going to study about light, definition and property. Second thing, basic idea of ray optics and geometrical optics. Third thing is reflection of light, and fourth one is real and virtual image formation by a plane mirror. So in this video lecture, I am going to cover these 4 topics. Now time and tide waits for none, and so do we. So let's start the chapter right now. The first thing we are going to study about light. What is light? If I ask this question to you, so many things are there in your mind for an answer. Like you can say the light is something which is around us, which is surrounded by light. Light is something which comes from sun. Light is something which a LED bulb gives. So many answers. All the answers are correct also. But what is the definition of light in science? So in science we used to say light is a form of energy which gives us sensation of sight. What is sight? Sight is visual. So light is a form of energy which enables us to see the world around us. If light is not there, will not be able to see anything. In the dark, when it is dark, absent of light, we are not able to see anything in the darkness. So with the help of light, we see the things. What are the properties of light? Let us see one by one. The first property is light is an electromagnetic wave which travels at the speed of 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second in vacuum. What is an electromagnetic wave? Maybe this term is new to you. Let me explain. Electromagnetic wave. Electro refers to electric field and magnetic refers to obviously magnetic field. Now see the diagram. Electric field vectors are there in y direction and it is represented by blue, whereas magnetic field vectors are in z direction and are represented in red. If you see the wave of electric field vector, that is vibrating in plus y and minus y and propagating along x direction, whereas the magnetic field is vibrating along plus z and minus z and it is propagating along x axis. The direction of electric field vector and magnetic field vector is perpendicular to each other, and the direction of propagation of wave is perpendicular to both of them. So we have to remember this thing: the direction of propagation is perpendicular to electric field as well as magnetic field. This is a kind of basic introduction. Actually, there is in chapter number 8. The chapter number 8 is itself electromagnetic wave. In that chapter, we are going to study it in a very detailed manner. But right now, we have to take only a basic idea about it. Second point is The nature of light is transverse. What do we mean when we say transverse? Let me clear you. There are two types of wave. One is called longitudinal. In longitudinal wave, the vibration takes place in parallel to the direction of propagation. And in transverse wave, that is the second type, in this the particle vibrates perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. As you saw in the diagram of electromagnetic wave, direction of propagation was perpendicular to electric field as well as magnetic field. So therefore the nature of light is transverse. We will verify this also in chapter number 10, wave optics, with the help of polarization of light. Right now, let us take the next point. The next point is the speed and the wavelength of light changes with the change in medium, but frequency remains constant. Whenever a light goes from a rare medium to denser medium, its speed decreases and wavelength also decreases, but frequency remains constant. Speed, all we know, it is the distance traveled by the light in 1 second. What is wavelength? Wavelength is actually also a distance but traveled by the light in one time period of vibration. Frequency is something which belongs to the source. Nature of source decides what is the frequency of light which is emitted from the source. So frequency doesn't change. Wavelength and speed changes with medium. Like light, if light goes from air to water, its speed decreases, and from glass to water, then its speed increases because glass is denser with respect to water. Let us take the next point. The speed of light is maximum in vacuum, and that too 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, as I have already told you. In which branch we study about light? The answer is optics. Optics is the branch of physics which deals with study of nature of production and propagation of light. Optics is basically of two types. One is ray optics and other is wave optics. In ray optics, ray optics deals with the rectilinear propagation of light, whereas wave optics deals with wave nature of light. In ray optics, we assume that the light travels in a straight line and it is represented by ray. Why it is also called geometrical optics. Why is it so? Because we use the laws of geometry. If you remember, similarity of triangle, congruency of triangle, angles, vertical, opposite angles, all these things you have studied in geometry. So we are going to use those things in geometrical optics to prove the formula, to prove the standard equation. In wave nature, we deals with some phenomena like interference, diffraction and polarization. These three topics are there in chapter number 10. Now we have to study ray optics or geometrical optics. So what are the assumptions we have made to study ray optics? Let us see that one by one. The first thing is light travels in a straight line. What do we mean when we say light travels in a straight line? We mean that its path of light is always a straight line unless and until there is a change in medium or there is an obstacle. This thing you must keep in your mind. The ray of light or the path of light is always a straight line. But if there is no obstacle or no change in medium, okay, so light travels in a straight line in absence of any obstacle or any other medium. Second thing, the propagation of light represented by rays. Ray you must have had in 6th, 7th classes we study in geometry. The direction of incident light is always positive. This thing is very important. It is the basic term, condition, whatever you say, of geometrical optics. The incident light, the direction of incident light is always considered positive. Opposite to that, it is negative. And it is everywhere. Let me clarify with a diagram. Suppose these two are light rays. These are coming as shown in the figure. So this direction is considered positive and this direction is considered negative. Let us move to the next point. All the rays of light are paraxial. Now let me clarify again this term with the help of a diagram. Let us take a diagram of concave mirror and concave mirror. The straight line passing through its pole is called principal axis. Now the rays which comes very close to the principal axis are called paraxial rays, whereas the rays which are far from the principal axis, those are called marginal rays. Now we have to consider only paraxial rays. We consider the rays which are very close to the principal axis. We use these rays to derive formula to establish geometrical relationship or mathematical relationship between different quantities. Let us take the next point. The aperture of a spherical mirror and spherical lenses are very small. The spherical mirror, like I have taken concave mirror in the diagram, the aperture means the shiny surface from which the reflection takes place. If you take a lens, then the surface through which refraction takes place. These surfaces are to be taken very small. So these are the assumptions we made so that our study of ray optics becomes easier for us. Now let us take the next topic, and that is reflection of light. What is reflection of light? Let us take the definition first of all. When a ray of light falls on a smooth, shiny and polished surface, it bounces back. This phenomena is called reflection of light. We have already studied reflection of light in class 10th. Let us understand this thing with the help of diagram. We have taken a plane mirror. A ray of light falls on the mirror on a point P, and then it bounces back. This phenomenon is called reflection of light. Let me give an example also so that you can understand. In our childhood days, we use a plane mirror, and sometime in the sunlight we used to shine the plane mirror to a particular person. So what we see, a bright light on his, what we used to do, we put a bright light on his face. So how that thing takes place? That thing takes place with the help of reflection. Light comes from the sun, falls on the surface, and then gets reflected to the person. Let us come back to the diagram. A ray of light falls on the mirror at the point P. The point P is called point of incident. The rays which comes, it is called incident ray. The ray which reflected, it is called reflected ray, and the point P, as I have told you, it is called point of incidence. Now, what we do, we draw a perpendicular line at the point of incidence, and perpendicular to what? Perpendicular to the surface of reflection at the point of incidence. This perpendicular line is called normal. We define an angle which is incident ray, which is there between incident ray and the normal. This angle is called angle of incidence and represented by I. Another angle which is made between reflected ray and the normal, this angle is called angle of reflection or reflection angle. So this is the complete diagram to represent reflection of light. There are some laws of reflection also. Let us see laws of reflection. We are going to take the first one. First one is angle of incidence and the angle of reflection are equal. These two angles are always going to equal. Angle of incidence made between incident ray and the normal, angle of reflection is made between normal and the reflected ray. Second point is the incident ray, reflected ray and the normal, they lie in a same plane. Same plane means if you have studied mathematics, you must have studied xy plane, yz plane or zx plane. So they must be lying same plane. Now let us go further. Image formation by a plane mirror. First of all, there are two types of image. One is virtual image and another is real image. So what is virtual image? When the image is formed by apparent intersection of reflected ray, then the image is called virtual image. Apparent intersection. I'll clarify this thing with the help of ray diagram. I can give you an example. When we see ourselves in mirror, so what we see in the mirror, it is actually a virtual image. What is real image? So which is formed by real intersection of reflected ray, that is called real image. What we see in the screen, which is made by a projector, that is called a real image. Now let me explain virtual image and what is that apparent intersection means. The virtual image formed by a plane mirror. We take two cases, when the object is point, another is when the object is linear. So first of all, for a point object, let us see that. We take a plane mirror, we take an object O, and behind the object we have an observer 1. Now observer 1 wants to observe O in the mirror. What he'll see? Let us see. So for observing the thing, reflected light must reach to the observer 1. So we'll choose reflected light as such. We'll choose incident lights as such that after reflection they reach to the observer 1. One light we are going to take from O is straight to the mirror. It falls normal to the mirror, perpendicular to the mirror, and hence bounces back and retraces same path. Another ray of light falls on the mirror. Now we draw a normal. We decide an angle of incidence. With the same angle, we have a reflected ray. Now reflected ray, the straight one, the normal one, and these reflected ray reach to the observer. But these are never going to intersect. So where they are going to intersect? Let us see. So we'll extend the ray behind the mirror. And we are extending the reflected ray, not the incident ray. We are extending the second reflected ray. These two appears to cut at a point I, and that I represents the virtual image of object. I hope it is clear. We extend behind the reflected rays to get an intersection point. So these kind of intersections are called apparent intersections. The rays are not intersecting in reality, but what we do, we extend the rays behind the mirror to get an intersection point. Now suppose if this observer is another observer is there, and he is somewhere else. Now the red rays which I have made is not going to reach to the observer 2. It means that observer 2 is not going to observe image of O. It is not like that. Whenever an object is in front of mirror, there are so many rays from the object. How we choose the rays? The incident light on the mirror must be in the manner so that the reflected light reach to the observer. Like red reflected lights are reaching to the observer 1. What about observer 2? So there are so many lights, so many light rays which makes an image for our observer 2. Let us see. We take a green ray. Now it falls on the mirror, it reflected and reaches to observer 2. Another, because we must take two rays to get an intersection point, it also reaches to the observer 2. Again, they are not going to intersect in the direction of reflection, in the direction of reflected ray. So what we do, we extend the rays behind and we get an intersection point which was same as we have got earlier. So observer 2 is also able to observe object A, observe image of object O. So I hope it is clear. The ray of light we choose, it should be in the manner so that it reaches to the observer after getting reflected. Now, second case, when the object is linear. Let us see. For a linear object, we take a mirror. On the mirror, in front of the mirror, we take an object AB. Now, from B, a ray of light strikes on the mirror, normal to the mirror, perpendicular to the mirror. It bounces back and retraces same path because it is the case of normal incidence. In normal incidence, the reflected light retraces same path as the incident light does. We take another ray of light so to get the point of intersection, and this ray of light reflected like this. Now again, the reflected rays are not going to intersect in the future. So what we are going to do? We are going to extend the rays behind the mirror. Let us see like that. One ray, another ray. We get an intersection point. Now we'll make an image for A. One ray to the mirror. Again it falls normally on the mirror, so it bounces back. Now another ray parallel to the red ray, it bounces back by reflection. Now we extend the rays, first of all the straight one and then the reflected ray. What we're going to have, now we have two intersection points, so we make an image here, A dash, B dash. I hope the ray diagram is clear. So this is what for a linear object we get. So in these two cases, what you see, the reflected lights are not intersecting each other in reality, but they appear to intersect each other behind the mirror. In these cases, we have got virtual images. Now plane mirror also forms real image. Let us see how. Real image formed by a plane mirror. Again we have taken a plane mirror. Let us see an incident light like this. It gets reflected and goes back. Again an incident light like this. It gets reflected and goes back. Now we get an intersection point. This intersection point is formed by two reflected rays. So there must be an image. We get an image I. But the question is, where is the object? Object we cannot see. For object, what we do? We extend the incident ray this time. This is the red one, the extended part of red one, not the extended part of green one. What we are going to have? Again an intersection point. So this intersection point serves as an object for the image. So what we see here, the object is virtual. It is behind the mirror, so it is virtual. We get the object by extending the rays. So it is virtual, but the image is real. Earlier, the object was real and image was virtual. Here, the object is virtual, but the image is real. So in this case, we see that plane mirrors can also form real images, but the object must be virtual. Now, what are the characteristics of image formed by a plane mirror? Let us see. The first point is image is laterally inverted. Laterally means, what do we mean by laterally? Let me show you a diagram. The right hand of the person appears to be left hand of the image. This is what we call laterally inverted. The right side of the object appears to be left side of the image and the left side of the object appears to be right side of the image. So this is what we call laterally inversion, lateral inversion. Let me give you another example so that you can understand. You must have seen this vehicle. What is this? Obviously, this is an ambulance. But did you notice the manner in which the ambulance is written on that? Whenever one see in rear view mirror, it is for him it is straight, but on the vehicle it is written laterally inverted so that its image is clear. Okay. Now we'll move to the next point. Image is virtual when the object is real, and image is real when the object is virtual. Already I have explained this with the help of diagram. Earlier it was object was real, image was virtual. Right now the diagram in which you are looking at, the image is real but the object is virtual. Magnification is unity, that is size of image is equal to the size of object. The size of image and the size of object are same in case of plane mirror. Virtual images cannot be obtained on the screen. The image which we see in mirror, we cannot obtain that image in the screen on the screen, but here in the ray diagram what you are looking at, in this the image can be obtained on the screen. This is the main difference between virtual image and real image. Virtual image cannot be obtained on the screen, whereas real images can be obtained on the screen, as we see in the case of projector. Next point is distance of image from the mirror is equal to the distance of object from the mirror. Okay, image distance and object distance are going to be same. Now, what we have learned today in this video lecture, what we have covered, let us see. Now in a brief, I'm going to again repeat that. First thing, light is a form of energy and it travels in the form of electromagnetic wave. Electromagnetic wave, you must have remembered. Electro refers to electric, magnetic refers to magnetic, electric field, magnetic field, and the direction of propagation all were perpendicular to each other. Second point was the speed and the wavelength of light changes with the change in medium. The speed and wavelength changes when a ray of light goes from rarer medium to denser medium or denser medium to rarer medium. Third thing is the frequency of light remains constant. It is because the frequency depends on the nature of source from which the light is emitting. Fourth point is in optics we discuss propagation and production of light. Optics is the branch of physics which deals with such things. Fifth point, in ray optics it is assumed that light travels in a straight line. It is the main assumption of the ray optics. The phenomena of bouncing back of light from a smooth, shiny and polished surface is called reflection of light. We have already discussed. I have given example of plane mirror, image formation by a plane mirror also. What we have discussed next, the angle of incidence is always equal to angle of reflection. I is equal to R. Next thing, the plane mirror forms virtual image when the object is real and forms real image when the object is virtual. This point is very important. Sometimes in the competitions also this asks whether a plane mirror forms a virtual image, a real image or not. So you must be clear with this thing. If the object is virtual, the image can be real. Next point is, and the last but not the least, the image formed by the plane mirror is always laterally inverted. Okay, lateral inversion, I have told you, the right side of the object appears to be left side of the image and the left side of the object appears to be right side of the image. This is called lateral inversion. Now, this is all about today. What is going to be a home assignment? Question number 1. If a boy is running towards a large mirror with a velocity of 5 meters per second in east direction, what will be his speed? What will be, it should not be there, what will be speed of the boy with respect to his image, of the mirror with respect to the boy, of mirror with respect to his image? What will be speed should be there, hit should not be there. Second question is, what are the uses of plane mirror in our day-to-day life? Think about it and write it by yourself. This question is going to be good one. Try this one. If you're not able to understand, Let me know in the comment section. We'll discuss it later on in the next video. If one have to observe a building of height h in a plane mirror, then what is the minimum height of mirror is required to fulfill the purpose? Very good question. You must try it. In solar cooker, what is the purpose of plane mirror? And the last question is, if a plane mirror is immersed in water, then will the laws of reflection hold? Justify your answer. This is all for today. Very soon I'm going to upload the next lecture. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss about spherical mirrors. Okay? You better read the things, study the things what you have studied in physics in class 10th. It will help you. Thank you, students.